What's going on, everyone? If you've been following me on Instagram at Quick Shifts, you know that something's changed this week. Wanted to get this video out to you guys as soon as I could, but a lot of stuff going on. Work's been pretty busy, so it's taken me a few days to get to this. But we also wanted to get some actual driving on the road and a little messing around in some puddles here to really test this out before we move forward. But if you've been following, you know that I have traded in my 2018 Challenger for the new Jeep Moab edition. So what we're going to do today is kind of run you through what's unique about the Moab, what makes it different, some of the things that set it apart from your standard Jeep, and we'll actually compare this to the Rubicon so you guys can see what some of those differences are, what they amount to, the difference in the feel, the drive, and even the road noise. So luckily we also have a 2018 Jeep JL Rubicon, so we can do that side-by-side comparison and you guys can know exactly what's different, the goods, the bads, all of those things. So one of the things we'll start off with first is the Moab sticker here, and I'll read off these features that come with the Moab edition for you guys. So really, the Moab comes with the hood badging. I'll walk around and show you guys that. If you didn't notice that at the beginning of the video here. So you get the Moab badging on the hood. You get the Rubicon style hood. If you notice the Rubicon right next to it, they both have the same style hood. You get these heavy duty rock sliders, and you're gonna have to excuse the mess. Again, we were out having some fun this weekend. You can see the heavy duty rock sliders on there with the step assist. You get the 17-inch tires or wheels with the Moab black aluminum wheels with the LT 255 75 17 off-road tires. These suckers are loud, let me tell you. You also get the UConnect Nav system, which we'll take a look at that in a little bit. In addition to the nav system, you get the Google Android Auto capable with the Apple CarPlay. You get the GPS navigation system, we'll talk about that, with the Alpine Premium Audio system. You get the LED lighting package on here, so you get the fancy lights just like our Rubicon also has. You'll see those there. You can see me in the reflection. Hi everybody. So these are same lighting package that we have on our Rubicon. In addition to the infotainment system, you get the Jeep Active Safety Group. I'll show you that, what that is. It's the sensors on the back of the vehicle. So you have the sensors that do the side-by-side on the lights themselves. Then down in the bumpers, you have the park sense sensors. So if someone walks behind you, the Jeep will beep at you and let you know that that's happening. You also get the blind spot. Well, that's what the sensors in the bumper are, the blind spot, cross path. And one of my most favorite things, of course, is actually, and I love this, we don't have this on our Rubicon. You'll notice we have the traditional door handle here, but over here we have the proximity, which is fantastic. You just open the vehicle right up and get in there and go. And that proximity, it's a silly little add-on. It's not big money, but it comes standard with the Moab, and I love it. So that covers the most of the exterior. You get the anti-spin differential rear axle under this vehicle, and it's smoky out here. Everybody's burning leaves this time of year. So you can see the rear differential in there. In addition to that, you get the steel front bumper on this particular Jeep. I'll walk you over there and show you the steel front bumper. So we have similar bumper, I believe it's the same as the one that's on our Rubicon. So you can see that those are both the same. You also get the auto dimming rear view mirror. I'll walk back around and show you that. I'll open up this door. So you get the auto dimming mirror, which is fantastic. But with as dark as the windows are tinted by default on this, I don't think you really need it, but it's part of the package. It comes with it. It's nice, real nice feature. I've loved them in other cars that I've had, so I highly recommend that. Again, you get the body color top, and you know this does start off as a base Sahara, so with that you get the colored fenders as well, which is a great feature, especially on this particular color. I think it really sticks out, makes it look sharp. You get the all-weather floor mats. So for those of you who aren't familiar with those, and again, we were driving through some muddy puddles and having some fun with it. Those are all dirty, so I apologize for the mess. I don't think Jeep people mind the mess, but here you'll have that. Let's see what else is on this list. 3-piece hardtop, all-weather floor mats, the hardtop headliner. So if you guys haven't seen that before, that's those headliner inserts here on the roof of it. And it actually goes into the back as well. And that helps keep it a little quieter in here, makes it look a little sharper. It's a little more refined, and that's very nice. And if you didn't notice this, it also comes with the emergency assistance call on the mirror. So you can see those buttons up there on the mirror for that. That's a nice feature to have. I don't know how often anybody will actually ever use that, but it does have that standard and comes with it. The HD radio, which you get the 1 year of Cirrus Guardian service, 5 years of the traffic service, 5 years of the Travel Link service, and Traffic Plus. And I'll show you guys that in a few minutes here. In addition, this particular Jeep comes with the cold weather group. So you get the heated front seats, which are super nice. You get the heated steering wheel, which is also super nice. I'm a big fan of that. Got to use that just yesterday while we were driving on the Blue Ridge Parkway. Man, it is cold up there. That heated steering wheel kept my fingers from freezing when I'd get in and out and fly the drone around and so forth. So that's great. And at the beginning of the video, you noticed I had the remote start that comes with the cold weather group. Also, on this particular Moab, we have the trailer tow. So if you notice that, the hitch is here, and it's got the electrical connections all for that. So that's got the 7 and 4 pin wiring harness, 240 amp alternator, 700 amp maintenance-free battery, and this particular Moab also came with the dual top group with the premium black Sunrider soft top, which probably end up selling that off. I don't know that I'll ever use it for anything, but it was just part of this particular package when I ended up picking up this Jeep. In addition, something that I'm not a fan of, but you know, you can't have it all, I guess. I've got the right deal thanks to the guys out at Benson hooking me up with this Jeep, giving me a great price, great trade-in value on my Challenger. This one is an automatic. Now, I'm a big fan of manual, and if there's a manual option, you buy the manual option. But in this particular case, I wasn't able to get the manual option because this Jeep and the Moab editions, from what I understand, only come in an automatic. So therefore, we have the automatic on this particular Jeep. But it does also include the hill descent control and tip start. So that's the package we have on this Jeep. Again, here's the Moroney sticker on that if you guys want to take a look at that. And we'll go ahead and take you guys for a ride on this so you can hear the sound it makes when you're driving in it. So here we are inside of it. One of the things that you guys may or may not know is the Moab actually comes with a different leather than the Rubicon. And you can look at the quality of this leather on this particular Moab, and you can look at it versus the leather that's in our Jeep Rubicon over here. And I'll do a side-by-side of that real quick to show you how it's slightly different. It's a little bit better, a little bit more plush. It feels more solid. You have the leather all across the dash here. Guys, here's another look at the leather steering wheel in the Rubicon. Of course, the dash in the Rubicon is plastic. It's not wrapped in the leather like the Moab is. And then you have the red insert on here. So there is a difference between the two. The seats are really nice as well. The same upgraded leather type. Now they do just have the Jeep symbol in them. I was hoping that it would say Moab across here, but it is just the Jeep symbol. But they are still super plush, really nice. And with the leather, of course, you get the armrest in the center on the back seat, which is also really nice. My son loves that. Now with the better radio, the upgraded 8.4-inch radio does come with some extra apps in here that you don't get in the smaller version that we have in the Rubicon. I did a video on that. You guys can go ahead and check that video out for some information on that. But in here, some of the things it has are the travel link, again, the heated seats for the driver and the passenger. You have the projection manager, of course, the SOS and the assist, the user guide. One of the big things in here is this off-road pages. You have the app manager, of course, the backup camera, which if you guys haven't seen these, the backup camera is fantastic in this. It blows away my Challenger, which was the same year. It never made sense to me why they didn't put in the better screen or better camera. I don't know if it's the screen or the quality of the camera in the back. If you scroll over here, again, this one has the heated steering wheel, which is really nice, came in handy just yesterday. The mirror dimmer, you have the XM radio, your media controls, and some of these other basics, navigation, your phone, and your basic settings and your audio settings. So I won't spend too much time going through that stuff unless you guys want me to. Leave me a comment down below and I can get into this more so if you'd like me to do that. But for right now, I'm going to go into the off-road pages. Show you guys this real quick because it's something that's just a little bit different. You'll notice on the Rubicon, and I believe this one will actually do it too, you can go through your menus on the driver's dash here, and you can get to the off-road section where you can see what your drivetrain's in. Then you can also go over to the pitch and roll section. So you have that function there, but what this will do is it'll put it up here so you can do the drivetrain through the big screen, and you can also click over and do the pitch and roll on here. But what is a little bit different is the accessory gauges. So you can go into the accessory gauges and you can get your coolant temp, your oil temp, battery voltage, trans temp, and your oil pressure, which if you're doing some serious off-roading, it's really nice to see that information. We were on Blue Ridge, and anybody who's driven on Blue Ridge, I don't care if you're in a Jeep, if you're in a sports car, what you're driving, you push it. It's just such a fun, windy road that you start pushing it a little bit, see what it can do. So we did get those temps to go up a little bit, but nothing that was scary or would make me be concerned by any means. But it was cool to be able to monitor that information as we were driving around doing those things yesterday. So that was pretty fun. So the other thing, I'll hop out here real quick. Just realized I didn't show you guys this, but with the upgraded radio, of course, I talked about this in the other video about the lesser radio. One of the nice things you get here is you get the subwoofer, and I'm a big fan of the subwoofer. You know, I don't need the extra doodads on the screen really, but I do like my bass, and it's nice to have that. So I was glad that this particular Jeep came with that package for that speaker itself. But other than that, you have the same stuff as the Rubicon. Nothing new there. The tires are real knobby. Something I want to point out. We're gonna go for a ride here. So all these little knobs on here, from it being a brand new tire, they add to the noise. So yesterday when we first started out on our trip, this thing was screaming on the road. It was loud as can be. But now we've worn those knobbies off, so we just have the regular knobs, and now it's just your usual loud from having a big tire like this. But now that these are side by side, let me turn over here and show you the Rubicons. The Rubicon is also a knobby tire, but the way it's designed, it's nowhere near as loud on the road as this Moab is. This Moab is probably the loudest vehicle I've driven in myself. So that makes a huge difference, and I'll try to do a comparison side by side of that for you guys before this video is over. But so that's what the interior is like. Now, some of the buttons in here, of course, for the heated seats, you have the buttons in here, so you can do 3 different stages on that. You have the on and off for the steering wheel. You have the auto start stop. You have the traction control button, the parking assist thing, you can turn that on and off. Your screen button, turn that on and off. And then you also have the hill descent, you can turn on and off. So of course you have the passenger side, driver's side on that, and you have the HVAC buttons in here as well, so I won't spend too much time going over that. In addition, like the Rubicon, you do get the auxiliary buttons down here. You have your media station with your plugs in here. And one other thing I want to point out about this Moab, get the camera to tilt down there, it's hard to see with the sun, but this has that 4MATIC transmission or transaxle in here. So you have the 2 high, your 4 high auto, your 4 high part-time, neutral, and 4 low. So that makes it a little bit different than our Rubicon. Our Rubicon is just 2 high, 4 low. It doesn't have the auto and the part-time in it that this has. So that setup's a little bit different. We were playing around in the puddles yesterday, nothing significant. You really couldn't tell much difference between the 2 of them driving around in that mode. But again, we weren't in a harsh enough terrain for it to make any kind of difference. But as we get some more seat time in on these vehicles, we will let you guys know about that and give you some more feedback on how we feel about that. But that's the interior of the Jeep. All right, guys, so here we are. Gonna go for a little ride in the Jeep here and see if we can't give you guys a little bit of the Moab experience that you get when driving this particular Jeep. So as I was telling you guys, there is that, if you can hear that, you start up, you can hear the knobby tires. It's nothing with the Jeep itself, that's strictly from the tires. It does make quite a bit of noise. The noise is very acceptable in my mind. I mean, I love Jeeps. This is my 4th Jeep now, and I mean, who doesn't buy a Jeep and want to go bigger, badder tires? I mean, I never get to off-road in them. I'm just too busy. I don't get that much time. When I do break away though, I always want to go. Yesterday we got to go just a little bit. I don't even know if I consider it off-roading. We were more so just messing around in a parking lot that happened to have these huge craters in it while we were driving around on the parkway. So I don't think that's off-roading, but it was fun nonetheless, and I'll try and insert a clip of that video in here so you guys can see that. I really like this 8-speed. I don't know if you guys can hear the tire noise. As you get faster, the noise gets louder. Once you start breaching 50 miles per hour, you really get the whine. You can hear it from the tires. But aside from that, I mean, I love this Jeep. This is in my opinion, this is kind of the plush model. When you think Moab, you're actually, at least I thought, being a Moab, it would be like the most hardcore, badass version of this. But it really isn't hardcore, I guess. I mean, you do have the differential and the red suspension, like the Rubicon in the rear of this vehicle, the limited slip, all that stuff is great. But I mean, it's not a Rubicon. My wife's Rubicon sits 2 inches higher than this one. Put them side by side, you can tell the size difference. This one makes a lot more road noise because of the more aggressive tire tread on it. But her tires are wider, they're bigger, they're taller tire. So here we're at 40, 50, cruising down the street at 50. And really all you have is the wind noise. You don't really have a bunch of tire noise like you do on the Moab. I mean, if you're still looking for that hardcore Jeep, then you still want to go after that Rubicon, in my opinion. Get that Rubicon, deck it out if you want all these creature comfort stuff. But I mean, we have the one Rubicon, so I'm very content there. And for how I use this vehicle, or will use this vehicle for the majority of the time, this is the better vehicle for me. I like my gadgets, I like the luxury stuff, and you know, I was worried that I'd miss that in the Challenger. My Challenger had all the decked out options in it, and I love that Challenger, and it was hard to let it go, but I love Jeeps as well, so I was willing to do that for this Moab edition. Traded in that Challenger, got this Moab, been driving it all week to and from work. Yesterday we took it out on the Blue Ridge Parkway. We took this Moab out, and we took my wife's JL Rubicon out, and my friend Austin, who you've seen in some of the videos, also joined us in his Grand Cherokee. So it was a Jeep Day fun day, I guess, out on Blue Ridge. We were able to cruise all these vehicles around all over the place. We even did a 30-mile-per-hour roll, because that's how we roll in the Grand Cherokee versus the Moab here, since they're both automatics with the 3.6 liter. We lined them up on a straightaway, safe in Mexico, and we're able to do a pull. And I didn't think that the Jeep would hang with it, gearing ratios, and it's a Jeep. I mean, it's a big block, but he only slightly pulled away from me, just very slightly, which I guess they're the same motor, but you would think that the gearing and the transmission and everything, and this has got the new 8-speed. His is, I believe, a 2014, might be a 2013, but yeah, he just marginally pulled ahead of me until we hit that rev limiter. So we did find that out. This does have a 98-mile-per-hour rev limiter, and it will not go past that. No matter how hard you try, it just sits right there. Now here we're going roughly about 50 miles per hour, and if you can hear the sound from the tires, it gives you an idea of how much road noise you get out of these. So I'll try and go a little bit faster so you can see how that sounds from a freeway standpoint. You get on the freeway, you're doing 60 to 70, 75 miles per hour. It really starts whining. You can hear those tires going. But if you're a Jeep enthusiast, you don't care about tires making noise. This one being a little bit lower than the Rubicon is a little easier to jump in and out of. If you're a smaller person, my wife is on the short side, so she appreciates that, but don't mistake it, she wouldn't give up her Rubicon for the Moab. That's her baby, and she loves it very much. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm loving this thing, and I was worried I'd miss my Challenger. And don't get me wrong, I missed the speedy part of the Challenger and the horsepower, but I'm loving the Jeep. I'm loving this Jeep a lot, and I'm really excited about it. I'm looking forward to doing some real off-roading rather than just driving through puddles in a truck side parking lot. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there's something you want to know a little bit more about, or something you want me to do some videos on for it, shoot me a note, put it in the comments, let me know, and I can do a focus video for you guys if you'd like. If you haven't been following us on Instagram, please go over to Instagram, look us up, Quick Shifts, follow us there to get the inside scoop on what's going on. If you were on there, you would have already known that we had this Moab, and we had traded in our Challenger for it. But check us out, give us a like, subscribe, tell me what else you want to see on this Moab edition, and I'll make sure that I get those videos together and get them out for you guys. I hope you found this helpful. Thanks a lot, everyone. Appreciate your time.